What's happening, my brother? It's been a while.
Hey, there we go.
There we
Changing the
go.
scene.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
doing things the same.
Yeah.
I went on honeymoon, innit? So
Oi,
yeah,
oi.
I'm good.
I still can't believe it's been a year. I had the photo memory thing come up from Indy and Sanjay's wonderful wedding day and the subsequent days. And I think we actually did a live, didn't we? We did an Instagram live when we went to Sanjay's house
It's still on my phone.
to kidnap her. So, guys, it's called the Dolly, but essentially it's kidnapping the girl. Now, the interesting thing here is it's more like this is the joke that was ongoing. It's Indy's Dolly, really, because he's left where he lives to go and live where Sanj lives. So, Indy was more sad, really, even though we're kidnapping Sanj. But it's been a year, man. It's been a year since you guys got married, and lovely to see that you guys jetted off. Where did you go?
Went to Bali, bro. It was eventful, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. Come on then.
Yeah, what happened? So, a bunch of things happened, but we'll save segments of it for later.
Right.
The one thing I want to notice is Sanj kept saying to me, Indy. I said, yeah, this feels like India. And I said,
Wow.
you need to nip that shit in the bud right now.
Not what we are going for.
That's not what I was
really.
going
No. How early on into the honeymoon did she have that revelation?
Because she said, if you just take random pictures of certain spots, it looks like you're in India.
Yeah,
and I said, yes, it looks like that anywhere in Southeast Asia. It depends on what's in the area.
And just to give some context here, obviously you've done a bit of traveling prior to this honeymoon in that part of the world. Has Sanj ever been there?
No, this is the furthest she's ever gone. So at the wall at the house, or at the flat, sorry, on our wall here, so the wall I'm tapping here, there's a world map stuck onto the wall.
Yeah.
This is the furthest point she's been on the map.
Ever.
So we put the little thing added on, and it's like looking really far away. She said, Indy, I've never been this far away from home.
Yeah. It reminds me of, this is because I'm a really sad Lord of the Rings fan. Sam says that in the opening Fellowship when they're going to destroy the ring.
Yeah.
He stops and he's
Even
like,
I remember that.
this is the furthest we've been from the Shire. It's just sad. Yeah, okay, so Sanj had this revelation that she's basically in India, and so she needed more wowing. She's expecting clearly a lot more. But you're not talking here about the hotels. You're talking about when you're going into like the rice fields and all that kind of other stuff. Is that what you mean? Or
yeah, if you're just walking around and just exploring the area, you get the feeling like this isn't Bali. But then when you're going through the roads,
that's the question, isn't it? What is Bali?
Yeah, it's just built up by a bunch of tourists, and it's obviously really scenic and beautiful. But you have to get to the scenic and beautiful area. The route to it looks sketchy. It always
the transit, right? Now, okay, so let me add to this what Sanjay's saying then. So, I spent a lot of time in India. Right, I've been there about 30 times. I know exactly what India looks like, and when I went to Canada, I had the same feeling, right? And so my feeling was this: what you're talking about is that transition period, the transit period.
Yes.
Right, and you have that in India, and actually, what I realized is just everywhere that's not England has this concept, which is you've got, so you've got this building, and then you have nothing for ages, like just open gaps and stuff, right? You've got like a random building, and I was like, oh, this feels like India. I said that to Shindy when we were in Canada, and then I realized it's just in the UK we are so used to no gaps. And that's what it is. We're just so small that everything's compacted, but for us that's normal. And I was just like, oh, yeah, India's just like underdeveloped, like, whatever country. It's big gaps, but Canada has exactly the same things. It sounds like what
in England as well, even how the pavements look is really different. So the pavements here are quite low. They're sort of really concrete. Over there, it's made up of, it looks like concrete, but it's not. It's like these little like tile effects on the floor. And it's like tiling, but made out of really hard rock. So it doesn't look, the concrete pavements don't look the same as they do here, but they look exactly the same like how they do in India. So I've been to Mumbai, the concrete layout is exactly the same and the pavements are the same. So I get where she got that from. It was only when I took her to like the wow part, she's like, okay, this is in India.
Now
but she took random pictures saying, look, it's a field. And she put on a story like, look, there's a random dog there. I bet it's called Ruby or Tony. And I was like, you're killing me here, right? Honestly.
Sabotage.
Taking you here and you're giving me India comparisons, didn't expect this. But the driving in Bali is absolutely dangerous and reckless. Okay. Wherever your driver does in the car, don't look ahead. Don't look at what he's doing. Don't second guess. Just go with it. I had no car crashes, nothing. But there's no structure. It is like driving in India.
Well, I was going to say, so how does it compare? Same as India? Worse than India?
No, it's not as bad as India. It's a bit more structured. The roads are more narrow. There's less space, but there's a lot of scooters going by, a lot of motorbikes going by. It's not the same, but they drive really close to each other. Like there's no braking distance. And the braking distance thing really throws me off. I'm like, whoa, I can't do this. Because if I look at my driver, I'm like, brake, brake, brake. And he doesn't brake. And I'm like, how are you so close to him? What if he doesn't brake? Then what? Then you got a pilot. No. Fine. Everything fine.
It's a question then. So if you had your father-in-law in that car,
no,
the driver, yeah, how would he be in that situation?
I think because it's in a different country and he doesn't understand it, he can't judge, so he has to just go with it. In this instance, I may have felt like my father-in-law. This is kind of a confession here, but I think I probably acted like I'm my father-in-law was. I was looking like this is not normal. I wasn't guessing it, but I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm not going to say anything, but inside my heart is going dum 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 dum, and Sandra's there asleep.
I'm going to die today.
Near enough. I'm going to die today. And then we have this car crash. And then Sandra's family's going to blame me for it because I took her to Bali. And I was like, this isn't fun. Right? Whole life flashed before my eyes. Okay. Everything.
Okay. So driving's unsafe. It felt a little bit like India until you got to the bits which weren't India. What did I catch of your story? You sent quite... I actually felt like we spoke a lot when you were on honeymoon.
We did. Yeah.
Which I don't know how you guys felt about that. But
I was fine with that. I got no problem. Because Sandra's doing a chilling time on the beach. I'm thinking like, what can I do for the podcast? What can I do for this? What can I do for that? Yeah. Let me get on my editor. Let me make sure this is done. Like I was still doing it. Yeah.
It's good. No, it's great, man. It felt like we were still connected. There was a video of you dancing. There's quite a few videos of you dancing, doing a little jiggle. But one was like, I think it was in a rice field. It looked like
it was in the rice field. Yeah.
That actually reminded me. There's a film. I don't know if you've seen it, called Fearless by Jet Li.
Oh, I think I might have seen it. I was a big Jet Li fan as a kid, so I might have done.
Great film, like just about how you should live your life, and he goes through personal transformation. There's a bit in there basically where he's lost everything, and he wakes up, and he's in this village, and there's a rice field just like that, and basically he spends his days planting these, whatever he's planting. Yeah, but he's really content. And when I saw that, it just took me back to that scene, man. But it looked awesome, man.
It was really amazing, man. But that rice field day, we got lucky because it wasn't too hot. So if we did some of the things that we planned to do on days where it was super hot, it would have been unbearable. We went when it was overcast, so there was a little bit of sun, a little bit of cloud, so it gave you a bit of a breeze and respite from the heat.
Perfect.
So it worked out well for us. We just got lucky with a lot of the days just working out with weather-wise and staying indoors and staying on the beach. Whenever we wanted to stay at the hotel and chill, it was a sunny day. When we wanted to go out and about, it was a cloudy day. So
nice.
It was all level, like really nice.
Okay, cool. And so food-wise, how did you find it?
Food's good out there, really good.
Right.
Think you get like an international breakfast at the hotel anyway, because
nice.
that's the thing.
Included.
That's the things that they give naturally. Sanj caught food poisoning, but we'll save that for later. And for me, food-wise, I was okay, but I was kind of missing my routine foods that I eat at home all the time because my stomach was a bit like, it's getting a bit jittery because you're just eating anything and everything, and there's no like structure to your meals. So sometimes we just ate at like 5 o'clock,
right?
Which is a dumb time to eat because you're like, okay, I've missed my lunch slot, but I'm going to miss my dinner slot. Then if we lie down and watch a film at 9 o'clock, we're not going to get up and go and eat dinner. So
room service. Hello.
Room service will just accept it. And I was like, accept it. Let's just stay here. And then we had to work around that and make sure we ate at decent times.
Okay. So if you're a vegetarian, all good options?
Yes, options. There's a big vegan movement out there. Depends on the city you're in though. So we stayed in Seminyak. There's a place called Ubud, which is really big for the backpackers. And around there, they have a bunch of vegan cafes, vegan restaurants, etc. Everything's super friendly, like gluten-free. So because they've got a big international audience from the States and from Australia that go there, they have to cater to these audiences of people. Nice. So they obviously know their market and know the people that they need to attract to stay there. But food is super cheap, like very, very cheap.
All right, here's a question. Because again, my perception of that part of the world is good place to go, good value for money from where we come from. So what isn't cheap when you go there?
I don't know. I didn't see anything too expensive. I gauge things on being expensive for being there. So say, for example, there was a cab ride we had to take from Ubud back to Seminyak in the evening. That was about 20 quid. And me and Sanch were like, this is expensive.
Time
I was
wise?
like, well, hang on. 20 quid. That's
For how long?
nothing. For an hour and a half in the car.
Oh, mate, that's bad. That's
No, but in our minds, we
money.
know how cheap it is in the area. So we're like, well, hang on. We're getting bumped here. So
okay.
for us, understanding how the price
the
movement
local-
is there.
Yeah.
The local price, it's expensive.
Right, but still
But
for us, that's cheap for an hour and a
For
half.
us, it's still cheap. You see what I
Yeah,
mean?
I see
So
what
I'm
you
trying to
mean,
find that
yeah.
like middle-ish area.
Yeah. Okay, so food is doable. Hotel, like staying wise,
Hotel was good. Hotel was really good. They were really accommodating. They kept calling me Mr. Indy, and then anytime I got given the bill, they gave it to me, not Sanj. And I was like, nice. And I was like, Sanj, here you go. It's your turn, right?
traditional, isn't it? Like hierarchical.
Traditional. They wouldn't ask her
yeah.
any questions. They'd
No.
ask me how I am. They wouldn't ask her anything. And she's like,
listen,
I do things too, right?
what does it matter? They're like, if you're okay, she is okay by default.
They're like, is Mr. Indy okay? Everything okay, Mr. Indy? Right, literally all the time.
Oh,
Hello,
man.
Mr. Indy. And I
Okay,
was like, oh, hi.
I'm thinking like t-shirt, man. Like that checking question, Mr. Indy, you okay? I can just see that on a t-shirt, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's it. Your new nickname is Mr. Indy.
Mate, every car ride, it would be the same,
Yeah.
like, where you from? How long are you here for?
Yeah.
Where are you staying?
Who
How
is
are things
she?
going? Are you
What's her
enjoying
function?
this? No one spoke to her. They all asked me questions. I was like, no, she can answer too, right?
Mr. Indy, is this your worker? Does she work for you? Is she clean for you? Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Mr. Indy. All right, cool. So you're happy, man. Do you feel rested?
Bali was good, man. It's good. I'm glad to be home.